In a recent video, we discussed about the end of Crackle and Popcorn Flicks and also Redbox due to the issues that are going on at Chicken Soup for the Soul. And, this is part of the streaming wars that is going on right now. And if you look to the perspective that you have segments of the streaming wars are dying out, you have problems at Paramount, Disney, Apple, and a couple of others. Free streaming, it depends on what they are. Like, Crackle and Popcorn were free, but, mismanagement, this is why they're gone. But you got companies like Tubi and Pluto that are, Tubi's doing very well. Pluto's doing okay. It could be better because they're owned by Paramount, so Paramount is in a issue. You have CNN now, which we have another video coming out, that they're going to take their online services and start charging fees if you want. I think you get a free couple of articles or videos, and then you have to pay something like $4 or something like that. Check out our video on that. But the other half of this is, and we've discussed this before, is, and we're update. In a way, this is an update too. We discussed about the cable companies that could shut down soon. And we said this. We said that when they may have another year or two, could be sooner, could be later. It depends. Depends on the company that owns them. Another video, we discussed that there's the possibility of the end of the Sci-Fi Channel. You had a cancellation of Chucky, the series, which we're hearing from Don Mancini that basically they're going to try to sell this to another network, Shudder. Hopefully they'll be able to do that and continue on, because they left the end of season 3 is in a cliffhanger. Hopefully they'll be able to either end it as a series or a movie. Who knows what will happen. They've also taken their top-rated show, Resident Alien, and moved it to the USA Network. Even though they're working on an Annabelle TV series, why would you move your top-rated show off of the network it's on? Unless you know that possibly you're going to be cutting back on that network. And you've seen that NBC Universal has just that they've made a deal with one of the cable companies to be able to put up their Peacock app on that service for free. That should tell you what is going on. That they're desperate for money. Cord Cutters put out a good article on there about, and I agree with them as far as these companies and the reasons why these companies on there, because I've looked into this. So we're going to read into this particular article. If you want to read with me, or if you want to look at it later on, it's on the Cord Cutter News. The article is 5 cable TV networks that are most likely to shut down in the second half of 2024, including Freeform, Boomerang, and this is an update because they also did the same thing I did, and there's a lot more that's coming forward. A lot has happened in 2024, impacting the future of many cable TV networks. These events have forced some cable networks to make dramatic changes, including Adult Swim, which starts at 5 p.m. on Cartoon Network. Warner Brothers Discovery has rebranded True TV as a sports network. Boomerang has suddenly found its parent company launching a competitor's that is free over-the-air partnership with MeTV. That's MeTV Tunes. We have also seen several small news networks like Newsnet and Scripps News both shut down recently. Earlier this week, 2 cable TV networks shut down. The Pac-12 networks shutting down, and the Longhorn Network shut down as well, and relaunching as a smaller free streaming channel. Now that we're halfway to 2024, my top picks for the networks most likely to shut down or be overhauled into something new are based on everything we know as far as the end of September of 2024. Well, let's start off with number 1. Boomerang. Yes, that's right, Boomerang. Boomerang app is gone. So is the Cartoon Network. It's been merged into Warner Brothers Discovery, or the Max app. Boomerang is unchanged, but still very important. It is owned by Warner Brother Discovery, a company that has been aggressively focusing on Max, its new streaming service. To make it even tougher on Boomerang, MeTV is partnering with Warner Brothers Discovery to launch MeTV Toons, a 24/7 classic cartoon network with many former Boomerang shows. The big difference here is MeTV Toons will be free with any antenna in many parts of the United States. You can all. This is one thing they didn't bring up on this article. They also can be. You can pay a service fee to Friendly. You'll be able to get it on the Friendly app, and I believe Sling also has that available as well. Boomerang lost 21% of its audience in 2023, and its average audience during primetime is just 41,000 people, according to a report by Variety. The question now is, how can Boomerang survive MeTV Toons and cord cutting? And that's correct. Boomerang has changed around so much. They're not the original Boomerang. It's the same thing like what happened with the Sci-Fi Channel. And you have it now. Their programming is most of it's free and a lot more on MeTV Toons. The stuff from Tartakovsky and the others from the early days of Cartoon Network is also available at 5 p.m. Weekdays, except Fridays, on the Adult Swim / Cartoon Network. So why do we need Boomerang? Really, why do we? People say, no, we need Boomerang. But you're getting the same stuff for free. And you're paying for it on cable. Remember that. Number 2, BET Her, BET Hip Hop, BET Soul, and more. Jumping from number 2 to number 2 from 4 last month are the BET networks. After a recent failed attempt to sell BET and its networks, Paramount is reporting trying to find cash, looking for BET to be sold soon or some of its unprofitable parts to be shut down. Of the smaller BET networks, only BET Her showed up in the Variety's top 150 channels. BET Her lost 7% of its audience in 2023 and has just 41,000 viewers during prime time. With the other channels not registering in the top 150 channels, it is unlikely some of them will survive much longer. That's correct. How many times you say, "Oh, I'm going to watch stuff on BET"? BET is not the original BET network that it was originally by its original owner. He sold out to, of course, into Paramount itself, and the new network president is, they're just going to throw stuff at you. It's not the same network that it originated for those of the minority communities. Number 3, small cable news networks. A growing number of news networks launched over the last few years to take advantage of advertisers looking for live content. Now, according to Script News, advertisers are starting to pull back on the news networks in 2024. This has resulted in several shutting down. Look for one or more news networks to run out of money in 2024. We're ready, and we have a video coming out. CNN is relaunching themselves as a pay service, CNN.com, and that's very soon. So look for that video, but still, this is what's going on. Newsmax has relaunched themselves as a pay service as well, and many others. That's beginning to happen because the advertisers are pulling away. A lot of it has to do with politics to that situation. People are getting their news from places like YouTube these days. They're listening to stuff like my channel and many others, like Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, many other content creators that talk about what's going on in the world and truly what's going on locally. Where basically you only get 2 seconds of it on any major cable news or local news network. Number 4, MTV2, MTV Classics, and other MTV channels. Before we get into this should have been gone a long, long time ago, including VH1 as well. Look for Paramount to start consolidating its smaller channels like MTV2 into MTV and Paramount Plus Increasingly, the younger audience MTV target is moving away from cable TV to online services. Remember, YouTube beats this out every time, hands down. YouTube is in the top two, being actually number one at this point on their last ratings. This comes as MTV News was shut down last year and its websites wiped of all content. MTV News was one thing is not a regular news network. They were music news. No one was watching music news as far as that on MTV. They were getting their stuff from online. MTV2 had just 48,000 viewers on the average during prime time in 2023, a drop of 13%. Other MTV networks failed to even show up in the top 150 channels on Variety's list of most watched channels in 2023. And this is correct. MTV doesn't play music like it used to. You can watch stuff on VO, YouTube, and several other channels and don't have to pay for it. You know, one of my partners in the business, when we split up our channels, he used to have a channel called Music Madness and used to do very well for himself. I mean, he still makes a name for himself online because he has befriended some people in the industry like Duran Duran, Adam Ant, many others. And he does discuss it on places, on Twitter and Facebook. And he's made it, in a way, a small name for himself. He's done very well. But his original show, his original vision, that no longer works in this type atmosphere as far as music goes, music videos. I mean, he was one of the earliest shows to, during the MTV era to run it. I mean, there was so many. You can catch now. There are people who have uploaded, there's shows like Friday Night Videos. And this is before MTV. They used to run videos on the weekend. HBO, in the early days when HBO wasn't 24 hours, ran music videos during their broadcast day. But now, and you saw recently that YouTube had to renegotiate their contracts for a lot of the music videos that were on their service because that's where they're all going to. They're going to certain free services out there. People don't need to watch it on TV anymore. You can pull up any music video you want. You don't have to wait for a radio type rotation, which that's what MTV did. They rotated music videos. I mean, they had some great shows. MTV had some great shows out there. You had Headbangers Ball. You had a couple of other, you had Yo Raps and many others that, defined what MTV was. But then when they started getting into the reality stuff, that's when they just started to move away from the music. And look where they are now. They're on their way out. So moving on to number 5, Freeform. Why haven't this channel been ripped out? I mean, this was originally a religious channel. I forgot what it was called originally on there. But it was a different channel. And they ran a lot of family stuff, which was okay. It was an okay channel. And then it became the Freeform when Disney stepped in. Recently, Disney surprisingly agreed to drop Freeform from Spectrum, the second largest cable TV provider in the United States. This makes the network vulnerable as it is almost exclusively reruns. You got like Family Guy, I think American Dad's on there too, and a couple other shows. With Disney Plus, the place to watch most of these programs, already shutting down, Freeform is more likely today to shut down than it was a few months ago. That's right, we don't need a Freeform, really. You can pull most of this stuff from online, including Hulu as well. Not only Disney Plus, Hulu as well, most of these shows on. And a final thought from this article, of all the networks, Boomerang is now the one we think has the most questions about its future after the announcement of Warner Brothers Discovery partnership to launch MeTV Tunes. Warner Brothers Discovery has shown it is willing to make major changes to its popular brands. This likely could include this classic Cartoon Network. And that's true. I mean, this list will probably change soon on there. I mean, when you look at the 150 list that Variety put out, The one thing you have to look at is where is MeTV? MeTV is still holding in the top 25. Above CNN, mind you, above CNN. Grit TV has been increasing steadily lately. They have been dropped from certain networks on there, but they still you can get them on free antenna, so that is still continuing on. USA Network has been dropping, so has the Food Network, Discovery Channel, Inspiration, TLC, History, TBS, Telemundo, Hallmark, TNT, HG. These are all channels, with the exception, MSNBC is fluctuating a bit, but most of these networks have been dropping. Fox is one of the only ones that has a decent increase, and so does ABC. Is not that much either. NBC has the biggest change, that it's dropped heavily in viewers. And you look at the other ones. Nat Geo Wild, HBO, Cartoon Network is down almost 20% itself. But, Adult Swim is scoring better, even though they're down a bit. But basically, that probably will change as more and more programming gets put on there from the Japanese type classics on there. Comet TV is a little bit, has moved up a bit. They're still in the top 100. Showtime has one of the highest, is at 25. But you look down, Boomerang is down 21%. They're not even in the top 100. Galavision, which is a Spanish network television channel, they've lost more than 56% of their viewership in 2023. Disney XD also has lost 40% of their viewers. CNN Español has lost almost 50% of their viewers. And it's so on and so on and so on. And this has been happening for quite some time. Is it the death of cable? I think cable is evolving. It's probably going to end up to be streaming. But as far as the cable channels themselves, I don't see cable TV, the cable box, is going to be going away anytime soon. They're going to evolve. Now, if you're familiar with what Spectrum, Fios, and a couple other cable companies have done, is they've taken their cable boxes and turned them into streaming boxes. And like the one I have the Fios newer box. And it's not that big. It's literally smaller than a book. Say about the size of a paperback. The main box itself, the multiple boxes that they have are, the way they work is there's one main box, and if you put multiple boxes in your home, you have the one main box that's connected to the Wi-Fi system and to the internet, and the other boxes receive a signal from that main box and the Wi-Fi to them. So they're basically, there's no major wiring. The only wiring you're doing is plugging it in and plugging it into your television. And it receives the signal, and you can watch pretty much, you can load whatever streaming site you want on there. But it also has live television. You could, the way cable TV like Verizon, stuff like that, they're doing some a la cartes on there. You can decide, pick and choose. If you want to change it out, they're allowing you to change it out. Say, like, for example, you don't want TNT, but you do want ESPN. They're able to flip around on that, but who knows how long ESPN will be on there, because it looks like that's going to be folded into Disney Plus coming soon on there, so you don't really need cable TV to watch ESPN in the pretty much probably into 2025 itself. Like I said, you're open to a lot in there. YouTube is listed in there, Paramount Plus, Sling, Amazon, and its free streaming site also as well is available. You can get music, YouTube Music, YouTube TV can be put onto it. And there are many apps. There are many apps. It's similar. It kind of puts into the perspective. Do you really need a smart TV at this point? That's going to probably, if a lot of the cable companies go in this direction, it's, you don't need it, because you also in this FiOS box setup is Chromecast. Chromecast is built into it, so you don't need to buy a Chromecast separately. It's already built into the system. And you're able to, like, say, for example, you see something on your phone, you could send it to, and depending on where you are in your house, you could send it to any TV in the household. You can send it to your living room or your bedroom. You can watch it wherever you want. It'll automatically click on and will basically send it right into your television. This is the changes that are happening. But basically, there are those out there that don't have this, that, we know from the other video, the 40 billion plus, that this government has put to task to fix the internet, and there hasn't been a shovel put into the ground. There hasn't been one person wired in, according to this administration. So comment in the lines below. Let me know your thoughts about this, about who is dying, who is staying. Tell me if you have a better list than this. Let me know in the comments. I like to hear from you. It'd be nice to hear, get a nice, fresh perspective on someone out there that basically, hey, listen, they might think there's a channel on their end that doesn't do well, and they expect it to go away. So don't forget to like, share this video, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. We just got to thank you for the thousands and thousands of videos out there on the streaming sites. You chose ours. We really do appreciate it. Please do continue to watch, share, like, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.